Hey y'all, check it out. I got a new sparkle background. Everything has to sparkle. Sparkle on is not a stick. I live it. Life's too short not to sparkle, especially now. We need all of the sparkle. So today's video is brought to you by Silver Sparkle. Okay, Swirl Focus. So I know I've been on a soapbox these last couple of videos and in my blog, but for a reason. What I write about and what I do in my coaching practice and what I feel so strongly about are principles that apply even on a good day, but especially now when we're in the middle of an unprecedented time in our world, in our global economy, just across the board. And as I've talked about in the last videos, it's about processing how you're feeling, allowing yourself to feel what you feel, and then shift into the positive mindset, and all the while keeping yourself in an empowered state. And I'll say more about that on my next video, but I am seeing so much shaming right now from the personal development community, and it pisses me off. Because this is how we create polarization. This is how we keep people from growing and expanding and moving forward. It's not unilateral, but I'm seeing entirely too much of this bullshit and I saw it last night. This is why you put your social media away before you go to bed. But I saw it last night. I saw this post that was basically to the effect of, if you don't come out of this blah, blah, blah with your side hustle, blah, 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 then it was never a lack of time. It was that you don't have discipline. And it pissed me off, because what you're doing is you're shaming people. Shame is not motivating. Shame, even let's get a little woo-woo for a minute, but shame on a vibrational level is so low that more than almost any other emotion, it's going to keep us blocked. It's going to keep us down, and it's going to keep us in a negative state. Shame doesn't help anybody. And part of what I teach about and I feel so strongly about is not shaming yourself for how you're feeling or how you're responding. That is not the same as staying stuck in a disempowered state. And I think sometimes people feel like it has to be one or the other, but it doesn't. And when you shame someone or when you shame yourself, all you're doing is blocking yourself from moving forward. So the first thing I want to say is that if we come out on the other side of this and you haven't started your side hustle or lost 70 pounds or whatever bullshit is, great. You're good. You survived a global pandemic. You're still awesome. Okay? You're still awesome. If all you did was get up every morning, take care of your family, take care of yourself, keep yourself through this, like keep yourself level through this, then great. You're fucking winning. Okay? And if you have the bandwidth to work on some of the projects that you've always wanted to work on, then great. Use some of this time to do that. But if you don't, that's okay too. I just want to break this shame cycle because it's not helping anyone. Now, when I talk about empowered states, and I don't want to go into that too much today, but there's a difference between, if it's 2 months and you're sitting on the couch and you're literally watching Netflix 24/7 and drinking a bottle of wine every night, that's fundamentally a disempowering state. Okay. And we'll talk about how to cope and healthy ways to move through these things. But again, shaming somebody doesn't help anybody ever, ever, ever. And also, who are you to shame people? I realize I'm sort of like roundabout shaming them right now, but whatever, it's my video. I can do it if I want. But you guys know what I mean though, is at this time, more than ever, what we want to do is we want to motivate ourselves and motivate each other. And that also means that if you don't do all these 6 million wonderful things with your time, then that's okay. And I also am not quite sure who these people are that have all this time on their hands, because most people have kids at home, they're working from home, they're just trying to survive right now. And guess what? That's okay. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we have to look at what the fundamental things are. Can we get food? Do we have shelter? Are we safe? when you're worried about your economic status, we want to watch that we're not getting spun up into those disempowered states. And what those are is getting too caught in the worry, right? We want to honor the fact that, yes, we have some very real questions, we have some very real concerns, and not let that take over to a place where it disempowers us. And by the same token, we don't want to put this pressure on ourselves that somehow we have to have come out of this having written the great American novel, or started our side hustle, or repainted the house, whatever the project list is that you have. What I'm saying is, I've seen a lot of people talk about, so-and-so wrote this book. I can't think of a good example off the top of my head, but that so-and-so wrote this book in the pandemic in, the 1800s, 1700s, whatever. Great. He also didn't have a bunch of assholes shaming him on social media. Okay. So my point in this is, however you move through this, in whatever healthy way you're doing it, if what you did today was get up, love on your kids, love on your animals, send a text to somebody you care about, and do 3 things. Maybe you made breakfast. Maybe you made your bed. Great. Good on you. You're winning the day, right? Let's take this pressure off that somehow we have to come out on the other side of this. I don't know. It's an unrealistic expectation that's not helpful. Now, as I've said, positive mindset matters and inspired action matters. And also putting ridiculous pressure on ourselves and shaming each other for what we're doing or not doing during this time in terms of, productivity, it's crap. It's crap. And what we want to do is lift each other up right now. And if you could be that you're struggling with depression right now through this, because there is no right or wrong way to navigate this situation. There are tips and things that will help. And the biggest key to all of this is being able to tune into yourself and know what you really need right now. Because it could be that on any particular day, it will help you to be very productive, that you want to fill your day with things and that you have the energy to do that. And that's great. And you should do that when you feel that way. And there may be days where you had a list of things you wanted to do, but you're feeling really heavy and you're feeling the emotions of all of this, because it is very real and it changes on a day-to-day basis. And if it's a day where you're really feeling that heaviness, pick 3 things to do. And they don't have to be big things. It could literally be make your bed today. That counts, because we're taking this all on a day-by-day basis. And I cannot stress this enough. We have to stop this shaming culture. And we can talk about how it's not that listen, I am the first one, and my clients know this. I'm the first one to dole out tough love when we need it. This is not a time for tough love. We're all doing the best we can to get through every day. And what we can do is stop shaming people for how they're responding. And don't you dare tell anyone right now that if you don't come out of this pandemic having started your side hustle, that you just don't have discipline. The words that I have for that, not that I'm a stranger to curse words, but it makes me completely insane. And my mama bear energy comes out really strong, because too many people already struggle with shaming themselves for not doing enough. And that's the thing, is we already, as a culture, at least in America, we already sort of have this feeling that we're never doing enough, never doing enough, never doing enough. And this is just perpetuating that. So give yourself a break, give everyone else a break, let yourself feel the emotions that come up around this. Even some of the most productive people I know are having a hard time right now, because we're just in a different climate. And if you're working from home, you're navigating a new situation as well. And yes, we want to stay focused on our work. And yes, we want to, we're grateful to have jobs, to be employed, because a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are losing their jobs from this. And so if you are working from home, just give yourself a little grace. And if you have kids at home, you're navigating that too. And this is it's new for everyone. And so more than ever, come back to the principles that you've heard me talk about and speak about, which is don't shame yourself. Don't shame yourself, because shame keeps you in that lower vibration. It keeps you from healing. It keeps you from moving forward. It keeps you from being productive. So let yourself feel how you feel. Just let it be there and let it be okay. Don't tell yourself you should or shouldn't do anything. Just let it be okay. And if you have ideas for things you want to do, maybe during this time, you're getting more brainstorms about what you would want to do on the other side of this. Maybe you're dreaming about when, we are able to sort of resume more of a normal life, things you would want to do, or ideas or creative inspiration. If those things are coming to you, awesome. Capture them. If you have an idea for a side hustle, if you have projects that you want to talk about doing in your house or just in general, right? Capture those somewhere. That's a great time to do it. And go with what feels really good for you right now in that way. And don't put this pressure on yourself that somehow you have to create and build an empire in the time that we're in isolation and that we're going through this global pandemic. Don't put that pressure on yourself. Relieve yourself from that shame. And if you see things like this on the internet, if you hear things like this from people, that's a boundary. If somebody is telling you that in their life, they may mean very well, but it's not helpful. So watch how much you're absorbing some of this idea of what you should be doing. And more than anything, it comes back to trusting yourself, knowing what's right for you and for your family, keeping yourself in an empowered place, which we'll talk about next time. And don't shame yourself, because there's no handbook for how to do any of this. So free yourself from that shame. Mute or block or unfollow anybody on social media that's saying this shit. And just remember, we will get through this. There will be another side to this. And in the meantime, just do the best you can on any given day. Do the best you can. Come back to the things that matter: your family, your friends, your health, taking care of you. All of those things, those are the things that matter. And y'all can hear my cat in the background. I'm not even going to edit this out. This is life, y'all. But the human spirit will triumph. And the way the human spirit triumphs is when we allow it to flow. When we don't shame, when we don't listen to this bullshit should, just let it flow. Get back in touch with your heart and your faith. Because whatever it is you believe, whatever resonates with you in terms of a divine power, this is the time for you to come back to faith and to come back to your heart and to come back to what's right for you. And don't shame yourself for whatever you're feeling or however you're responding. And if you come out on the other side of this and you haven't built your empire or done your side hustle or lost 75 pounds, I'm here to tell you, you are still a wonderful human being, and you are still worthy, and you are still enough just as you are. Sparkle on.